can show us. Is there einer? Okay, hey, einer. We'll find someone for you to show you how to boulder. Also, du siehst, alles Experten hier, das ist das Schöne.
Müssen wir gar nichts mehr erklären?
Nicht viel. Vielleicht, bevor wir anfangen, hier ein bisschen mit den Regeln und wie das ein bisschen anders ist als in den letzten Jahren. Ganz wichtig für die Zuschauer. Nach we will not clean it up, and you don't have to wait to come in later before the final. You can stay.
Good morning and welcome to the final round of the IFSC Boulder World Cups for 2016. I'm Charlie Bosco, alongside me today is IFSC Technical Delegate Graham Alderson, and we are live in the German city of Munich. Munich is one of Europe's most historical and fun cities, and 1.5 million people call it home. Lying in Bavaria, it hosted the 1972 Olympics, and yesterday we welcomed a record 224 climbers to the qualifiers right here in the Olympic Park on the outskirts of the city centre. And then we see our wall and our MC getting the crowd warmed up. So Graham, one of the reasons we have you along today is to ask you firstly, what does an IFSC technical delegate do?
Well, my personal job description is I do whatever I have to do to make the competition a success, which here, luckily, is very little. I liaise with the organisers in advance to make sure the various facilities are there, the award ceremony is done correctly. So it's a multitude of tasks. I work closely with the jury president, because I'm part of the appeal jury, so if there's a technical incident or something, I get involved then, look at the videos. But the job description is pretty broad and varies dramatically depending on where in the world we are.
And I also wanted you to come on today to talk about the very happy decision about sport climbing being accepted into the Olympics for Tokyo 2020. I know people want to know what the format will be, how many climbers we'll have, and we don't have a lot of details, but what can you tell us so far?
Well, unfortunately, Charlie, we can't tell you very much. The format is still being discussed and we're going through the various options. All that we can say and that we do know is that we have 20 men, 20 women competing for one gold medal per gender, and they will all do lead, boulder and speed. Apart from that, that's all we know at the moment. We don't know how long the competition is going to be. We know it's multi-day, but we don't know whether it's 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. So at the moment we are still working on all the options, because obviously we want to work through every possibility before we announce anything. The actual decision will be made by the IFSC Plenary Assembly, so all of the member federations will vote on the proposal that's put forward by the IFSC Sport Department.
So yeah, the details still to be thrashed out. The good news is sport climbing has been accepted for Tokyo 2020, but for people that have been asking on social media exactly what the details will be, the answer is it's being figured out. Do we have a rough idea of when the decision to be made on how the formats will work, how the points will work?
Well, the decision will be voted on at the Plenary Assembly in March.
And that will be the final decision?
Yes, it's in Quebec City on the 17th and 18th of March, so sometime mid-March everybody will know. I mean, obviously the information will be disseminated before then for the federations to discuss amongst themselves in their own national forums, and then they go to vote. So I think the information normally gets disseminated about 28 days before, so anything that's proposal that's voted on for the plenary assembly is public knowledge. I think it's 28 days before.
So you hit it here first, March. Stay tuned for information, but as I say, the great news is that we as a sport climbing has been accepted into Tokyo 2020 Olympics. And fittingly enough, we are here in the Olympia Park in Munich, host to the 1972 Games, and our first climbers are out. Thank you to Graham Alderson for joining me. Very shortly we'll have one of our route setting team along. In the meantime, we have Katja Sauwein out. Over a men's one, we should have Sergei Tapishko. He's not in shot right now. There he is. Ukrainian climber. Katja Salwein, she only just snuck in. She was 10th in her group quite early on in the qualifiers. There's a long way still to go. She was already 10th, but nobody managed to pass her. As we watch Sergei's first attempt at men's one, you can see there behind him, just through the door, the seats of the Olympic Stadium. So we're not in the main stadium arena itself, where the Olympic track and the track and field events took place. We're actually in one of the huge walkways that circle the top of the stands. Sergei Tepishko not wasting any time here, getting straight into it.
5 Minuten und nach genau 5 Minuten, egal wo du bist, after exact 5 minutes, you have to stop climbing. Doesn't matter if you are close to the top, if you are down there, and 5 minutes.
I thought we were going to see a top straight off from Sergei Tepishko there as we watch Katja Salwein. Tough jump move on this women's boulder one. I was out on the mats earlier, and that move jumps out. Tough start for the women.
Ja, das ist, kennen wir natürlich heute Abend nochmal mehr. Jetzt, wir haben 10, die Boulder scheinen etwas schwerer zu sein. Also jetzt der erste Eindruck hier.
A consistent season, I think you'd say, this year. Katja, 16th in Meiringen, then 15th in Kato, 18th in Chongqing, 6th in Mumbai, 16th in Innsbruck, 20th in Vale, and qualified 20th here from our qualifying round yesterday. Sticks that move this time. Now she'll begin to move right. Onto the green volumes of this boulder. She's heading for that large round black volume with the yellow tape that you can just see in the top of your shot. And a top from Katja. 2 minutes still left on the clock. We didn't see every one of her attempts, but when the score comes through, I'll confirm how many attempts that took. And the same goes for Sergei Tepishko. There's a crowd in Munich building up. It's amazing, they opened the gates about half an hour ago, 11 o'clock, and the stands were full within about 10 minutes, and already the standing area is full. We can see the media and music booth in the centre of the shot there. Every square inch will be full for the finals this evening, and I suspect for the latter part of this semi-final here, we've got a beautiful sunny day. Yesterday it was freezing cold and damp, but today the sun's out. The climbers are saved the worst of it by the canopy that's over the top of the venue. It looks like we're outdoors, we're actually not. There's a clear see-through canopy above the climbers and the crowd and all our media area. So it's a wonderful feeling of being outside, but when it rains, as it threatened to a couple of times yesterday, you stay dry. So pretty much a perfect venue. The boulders for this semi-final were set in hot weather. So whilst we saw a lot of tops in yesterday's qualifiers, possibly due to the sudden change in temperatures, the temperature went through the floor. It was 12, 13 degrees yesterday. Today is much warmer and we're expecting much fewer tops. Although that said, Sergei Tepishko and Katja Salwein, first two climbers out, topped both their boulders. Next out we'll have Lily Kiesgen and Flor Vasquez. Jonathan Flor Vasquez of Spain, as we've seen there, perfect timing. And there we see just in front of, that's only one side of the wall. Crowd already filling up. By this evening there will be no space whatsoever. The German health and safety rules are quite severely breached in the evenings here in Munich. People will get anywhere to get a view. And Lily Kiesgen is out. We see her there, not rushing into it. Cleaning the holes. 20 years old, climbing in front of a home crowd. She's not from Munich, she's from Bad Vilbel, which is just to the north of Frankfurt city centre. I'm sure you knew that anyway. So let's have a look at Jonathan. This will be an interesting climber to keep an eye on. He competes in all 3 climbing disciplines, lead, speed and boulder. But this is his first semi-final in any discipline. But we just spoke to IFSC technical delegate Graham Alderson about the Olympics. And doing all 3 disciplines is clearly going to be a very valuable skill in the next 4 years. Jonathan, 19 years old.
Die junge Dame aus Frankfurt. 20 Jahre jung, erstes Halbfinale im Weltcup. In Deutschland hat sie alles in der Jugend gewonnen, was man gewinnen kann.
Ja, sie ist eben an dieser Stelle da, wo es reingeht. Also das ist genau der Schlüsselpunkt.
See Lee just preparing for another attempt.
Katharina auch kämpfen müssen, hat sich dann aber eben darüber gekämpft und ist deswegen nach oben gekommen.
Just settling into the commentary box. I've got IFSC route setter Percy Bishton alongside me. Percy's just put his headphones on. Can you hear me? Yeah, excellent. Percy, you've been setting these problems. I was just talking then about the conditions, and these are roughly similar conditions to what you set in?
Yeah, pretty much. The weather at the start of the week was super hot, so it was about 27, 28 degrees when we set the finals and the semi-finals. So yeah, by the end of the day, they'll probably be fairly comparable. It's pretty tough going out there.
Just talk us through this women's one problem. I don't know if you saw it. Katja Zauwein's already topped it.
Yeah.
Quite a dynamic move, low down.
Yeah, it's a jump into like opposing shoulders, which are fairly slopey. I mean, we saw Katja take 3 or 4 tries just to find the good part of the holds. But once you got those, you roll over to this big slopey sort of moon-shaped hold, which is really, really greasy today. And then it's an awkward little flick out, some volumes, and then the end's actually a little bit easier. The holds are a little bit, at the moment, they're a little bit more friendly. And then a big move out to this big slopey black thing at the top, which is probably the biggest hold you'll ever fall off. It's very, very flat. So it's not a matter of you can't just grab it, you sort of have to keep the pressure on it a little bit.
And is there a key part of the hole that they're aiming for? Is it just pretty much anywhere along its
Not
length?
really, just go for it and hope you get a good spot, really.
So just to confirm for you, Katja Zauwein, she took 3 attempts.
Okay, yeah.
For that first top.
Yeah, I mean, you'd expect Katja to do pretty well. I think she had a bit of a rough qualification round yesterday, a few slips. It was pretty hard going for the women yesterday in the qualification round because the round was reasonably straightforward for the good women. So kind of a flash round, really. If you weren't flashing the boulders, you took a few tries on something, you could find yourself low down in the order. But Katja's someone we'd expect to be up there, maybe getting into the final. So.
I was saying earlier, she was 10th in her group quite early on in the day. She had quite an anxious few hours wait, but she just about hung on.
Yeah, no, she had a bit of a worrying time yesterday afternoon, but as I say, I mean, these semi-finals are a lot. It's a slightly different picture out there today. It's a lot harder. The problems are harder. It's obviously about 10 degrees warmer, so yeah.
And the rest, I know we weren't live for our qualifiers yesterday, but if you see us on camera just sitting here in t-shirts, I can assure you things have changed quite drastically. It was down jackets and beanies all round yesterday.
I mean, you know, the camera can't see what you've got on under the table, Charlie, but I mean, I can tell the viewers he's got nothing on.
I just feel so free commentating that way. Just makes me feel so relaxed.
It's the German way.
Just keep your hands on the table, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just to confirm for you, by the way, Jonathan Flor Vasquez, he flashed that first boulder. Sergei Topisco, he topped it with 2 attempts.
Yeah, nice easy entry into the competition for the men today. A nice balancy slab, kind of a balancy press move on it. The ladies are going to have a a pretty rough time of it in the second half. The boulders get a lot more physical, a lot more powerful. See Kata here now about to start the second women's boulder.
It's quite. I was having a play on this earlier, although I have to say I didn't put my muddy trainers on it, but I had a look at the handholds. Quite an unusual boulder. What's the beater?
It's basically a selection of sort of semi-mantle, semi-undercut moves. It's very odd. You sort of move up on the holds, you're undercutting and pushing down in opposition at the same time. Yeah, a tricky little number. We'll see how the women get on with it here.
See Natalie Betch here. I think that was possibly her first attempt, possibly second.
Yeah, I think this style will suit Natalie.
Sergey's out onto boulder 2.
So this is going to be, I think the guys are going to be happy on this one. This is a pretty powerful boulder, but small edges, pretty basic style. Let's see what Sergey can do here. He's about to leave the comfort of the footholds, start campusing.
Is there anything that can be used as a foothold? Can you smear, or is it just
no?
Pretty much arms only?
Yeah, I mean it's the best way. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to take your feet off and try and campus through. Oh, unlucky for Kata there on the slab. Just fell off the top.
And we also saw a couple of seconds ago Manuel Cornu sporting the. Well, here he is. I mean,
what has he got on his head? What was he thinking?
I'll send him a copy of this live stream in 10 years and he'll blush, I'm sure. Sort of thing that seems a good idea at that age. God, yeah. How old does that make me sound? I'm just jealous. I'd love to be able to do that. And a top from Manu.
He seems to be mimicking a number of different wildcats. I think I'd say he's more of a leopard on one side, but on his left-hand side, what would you say that was more of a zebra? I'm not sure.
More of a zebra, yeah, sort of a yellow zebra.
Yeah.
It's certainly, I'm trying to find the right word here, unique, should we say?
Yeah, certainly, yeah. There's a few of the men's hairstyles that often provoke a little bit of interest. I mean, I know Rustam is often the one for the hairstyles.
Rustam seems to have plateaued. Manu, that fantastic look.
Well, they might be egging each other on. God knows what's going to happen in Paris. Okay, come on, Natalie. Oh, you can see that's a really good angle of that top hold. It's just such a big slopey thing. You just have to sort of keep going on it, keep moving back on it, get a bit of skin on it.
Yeah, whoever fitted that camera right next to it at about 8 o'clock this morning must have been some guy.
A genius.
Absolutely, genius, yeah. Perfect positioning.
Okay, Kata back in action. Let's see if she can do this again. She dropped the last move.
Yeah, just a recap. She topped the first boulder in 3 attempts. That was enough for an early lead, but we just saw Natalie also top it, so once we've got her attempts confirmed, Katja may be dumped down to second.
Oh, nonchalant there, look at that. Nice and confident, just hands off rest, just chilling out. Getting ready for this.
So is there a hidden foothold beneath her hips, or is it?
No,
is it only that one on the left?
Yeah, just that one on the left, and then you have to go for the hold, but basically they're all on wrong. So basically when you hit the last hold, you're completely out of balance. You have to hang on in for the ride. It's not all over. It's a good hold, but it's facing the wrong way. So when you grab it, it pulls you out of balance. It spins you off to the left.
Is there another method than the one Katja used? Because she led just with the right hand inch and then the left immediately followed.
Well, I mean, you could argue the best method is not to drop it. Is when you get to that position, is to hold on. No. I mean, you can do it. You cannot use either foot on the foothold. Let's see if she still wants to go with the left. You can try and put your right foot on, but it's really, really, really hard. The best thing to do is just to try and go slow. It's like a powerful slab move. So there you go.
So it's the same technique there, the right hand, just a split second before the left.
You have to slow the move down as much as you can. If you go, the slower you go, the more powerful it is, which is it's unusual on a slab. You're not normally pulling that hard, you know.
Here's Kokoro Fuji. Didn't quite sneak into the semi-finals, but it wasn't the most comfortable qualifying round for him. Came through in 17th.
Yeah, the qualifying round yesterday was interesting. When we had so many competitors yesterday, there was 140 odd men, I think, and in order to make sure everyone got to climb a boulder, you know, the difference between the best and the worst climbers, and if you like, in that group was so big that you know, the level of the boulders was probably down a little bit, maybe, than what it would normally be at a World Cup, which meant that the best guys really had to be flashing or doing at least 4 or 5 boulders quickly. And for some of the guys, you know, they prefer to have a bit more of a fight, have harder boulders, and have more of a battle on them. But
No problem for Kokora there.
most of the big names made it through okay. Jan Hoyer was one of the big names who didn't, obviously.
Also missing Rustam Galbanov,
Yeah.
Colin Rugens. It was a fascinating qualifiers. Really interesting, actually. We were chatting earlier off air about exactly what you just said. There's so many climbers, and if you looked at the qualifying scores online yesterday and you thought there were a lot of tops, scroll down, because further down the groups you were saying some people didn't get a bonus hold.
I mean, yeah, some people literally, you know, weren't moving off the start holds, and that's the difference. You know, when you have such a big field of competitors, the difference between the best and you know, the top of the order and the bottom of the order is the difference between flashing a boulder and basically not even being able to pull on. So
yeah, so if you're watching this and you saw our scores yesterday and you thought there were a lot of tops, as I say, part of the reason for that is with 70 competitors, there's such a spread that the top guys are flashing these things.
I'm sure the guys who didn't get any bonus holds will disagree with you when you say it was an easy round.
I'm sure they will.
Had a torrid time. Oh, let's see.
Jonathan.
This men's 2 boulder is savage. There's no hiding place. It's just pure power, really.
Yeah, there's Meiko Takiya. We've seen her compete in the Lead World Cups recently in Chamonix Briançon.
Okay, she'll need a bit of fitness for the last 2 boulders, I think. The last 2 boulders are quite long. We haven't seen anyone try them yet, but we'll see them in a minute, in the next rotation, I think.
Excuse me, she was in Villars and Chamonix, not Briançon and Chamonix. Made both semi-finals though. Already made a final this year, 4th in Chongqing. That feels a long time ago, but it does for the athletes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's been a long season, and with the World Championship as well next month, it's interesting to see how the different athletes, you know, I think a lot of the athletes will target the World Championships, and so maybe they start the season not as strong as we'd normally see. My theory is that a lot of the Russian climbers, the World Championships is such an obvious target that they'll start the season slowly. So people like Dmitry Sharapatinov, we haven't seen very much of him in finals at the start of the season. Looking a little bit stronger now, Alexei Rubtsov.
Yep.
Yesterday in qualification, he looked like an absolute machine. He didn't falter on any move. It just, yeah, incredible.
Man, you mentioned there, Dmitry looked himself again as well. He was
back in form. So
came
you know,
through in 8th.
Maybe my theory will out that some of the wilier competitors will take it easy for the World Cup and aim for the big comp at the end of the year.
Speaking of the World Championships, there are still tickets available, particularly for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the qualifying rounds, and there are still some tickets available for Saturday and Sunday, the semis and finals days. They are likely to sell out though, they did last time. If you'd like a ticket for any of the 5 days, get to worldclimbing2016.com. As I say, a lot of the areas of the stadium are already, of the arena, sorry, already sold out for Saturday and Sunday, but there are the odd tickets still available. So worldclimbing2016.com, full program of lead, speed and boulder, and of course a full program of paraclimbing, which if you saw the World Championships last time, was, possibly my highlight. So yeah, very busy 5 days in Paris. May just struggling with this lower move. She's one of the shorter climbers. She's going to be timed out there.
Okay, we're going to see how Natalie Barshi does on the slab.
Yeah, and Sergei is back out.
Okay, so Kata is moving on to women's 3. Totally different kettle of fish, this one. Lots
you
of
can
compression moves.
You can almost see her brain wearing away though. She tries to figure it out.
Ja, und bei mir, so geht das jetzt eben hier
I think
weiter.
this might suit Kata.
Der erste Mann auf der linken Wand angekommen.
Big holds, big powerful compression moves.
Sergi Tobisco und wir sehen die Österreicher.
Manu, the cheetah, Cornu.
Spektakulär.
Oh yeah, he sticks the moon. Come on, get that foot up. Yeah, come on Manu. Let's see what he's got. He needs to shuffle up. And now into the world of hurt. Come on Manu.
Come on,
His
Manu.
head's come off. He needs to stand up. The last hold is an undercut. Here we go.
Slowly.
He needs to get his foot in. For the more seasoned British gritstone climber, you could bang a knee in there. Oh, look at that. That's textbook.
He's been winter climbing in Scotland.
Yes. Okay.
I think
He'll be thrown off the French team for that. I'm afraid that sort of manoeuvre is forbidden, I believe, in France. The use of the knee.
Is that why whenever I'm sport climbing and use my knee, I get booed in France?
Absolutely. Yeah, throwing rotten fruit at you. Fantastic effort by Manu there. That's a really, really, really hard boulder.
And we see Katja, she's actually already quite far up this boulder.
Yeah. So these holes get better the higher up you go. She's got the good part. Doesn't quite know what to do with it. You need to push. Push, 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 push. Ooh. These holes are going to be these are some big American holes with like a bubble wrap texture on them, which seems fine when you put them on, but when you're sliding down it, they take your skin off quicker than anything else. Sergei going well here. Oh, lovely.
No problem. It's a big hold that at the top of men's three. I was up on the ladder earlier.
Yeah, great big thing.
Good hold you're aiming for.
Yeah.
Your route setters out as nasty as everyone makes out.
No, sometimes we put a big one on. Normally somewhere where no one can get it though.
On the back of the wall.
Yeah, come on Natalie. Oh, unlucky. Trying to pull on the foothold there. Kata having a look at women's three.
Close that first time.
Yeah, the last section's it's really tricky. It's not so bad to get the last hole, but quite hard to match it. It's a little trick knee bar if you can find it between the two previous holes. It makes things a bit easier.
Let's take your time here, Kurt. She's still got a minute and a half. I think she'll be quite confident.
It's actually quite cool where she's at the minute. We can see she's just standing in the shade. Underneath the wall is probably the coolest place in the whole arena today. It won't stay cool for long, but at the moment it's kind of okay.
And there's Katja. She's got a provisional lead. Franziska Sterra, her compatriot, alongside her. We barely see Franziska yet. I'm sure we will. There's Manuel Cornu. Great top on boulder 2 for him. Great to watch. Sergei Topishko, I don't know if he has had a top there on boulder 2.
No, we just saw him do number 3 though. So
just waiting for the scores to update. So if you're just tuning in, we're live in a very sunny and warm Munich. Hard to believe it's the same place we were in yesterday. IFSC route setter Percy Bishton's alongside me. We've already seen some great action. I think Manu Cornu, his haircut and boulder 2 being my highlights so far. If you are just tuning in, you're wondering what I'm talking about with the haircut, just wait. It's covering most of the big 5, as they say in safaris in Africa.
You can't climb like a punter with a hairdo like that, can you? You've got to have the ability to pull it off.
It's like when someone climbs in a vest in Britain and you say, he must be good.
Yeah.
Bet he's good. He better be.
Oh.
No joy for Katja. I thought she was going to get that. First attempt was the best of what we saw.
These last 2 boulders to the women it's kind of a different level than the first 2. Kind of ease them into it gently, and then
here's Jakob Schubert again. Not his strongest qualifying round, but he got through.
So I'm surprised that Jakob's not experimenting more with interesting haircuts. slightly renowned for looking after his hair and making sure he's always neat and tidy.
I've never quite dared to touch his hair. I'm tempted one day just to walk up behind him and just gently lay a hand on it. You don't think it would go down well?
No, I think it's probably as hard as a rock, covered in hairspray. Covered in hairspray.
It might just be one unit, maybe just puts it on each morning. I should get one if so. Jakob not too far from home, only a couple of hours down the road from Innsbruck. As we see May on the women's 2.
Just trying to find out what to do here.
Again, she found the no hands rest. Probably wish she'd taken the chalk back.
Chloe Collier on the women's 1. Going well here, Chloe, looking strong. See what she can do. Yeah, she sticks that volume.
Already been in a final this year, Chloe. Siegfried Kazo.
Yeah, she's only young. She's got a good career ahead of her, I think. Chloe's very, very strong climber.
Great to watch, really determined. And she always looks like she's having fun, which I think is important.
Yeah. Oh, she's not having any fun now.
She knows a bit more about the hold now. She got a good palm on it.
She slid down half of it, so... Look at Jakob, he's halfway up a slab. I don't think even he can believe it. Come on, Jakob. It's kind of a strange opposition move here. You're pulling on the top hold and pushing on the bottom one and run your feet up.
It looks like he's figured it out. Yep. Pretty much as you described it.
Yeah, there we go.
This looks very promising for Jakob.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time for him to fall off here. Can he do it? Yeah, nicely done there for Jakob.
Happy man.
See, not a hair out of place.
I'm going to look more carefully when he falls off leading.
Nothing moves. Nothing moves.
So we see Chloe. No, we don't. So Lily Kiesgen we saw there briefly. This is Meiko Taki. Having another go on women's 2.
So yes, an unusual slab. This side, you can stand and rest in between the moves, but the moves are super powerful. Really powerful undercut moves, lots of pressing. Looks fairly relaxed.
Again, no hands rest. Brought a chalk bag this time.
Jonathan, meanwhile, on men's 2. Complicated boulder, this one.
There's a lot of moves on this boulder.
Yeah, it's really pretty complicated sequence. Can he do it? No, unlucky.
So when he went left there, is that the correct beater he's got?
Yeah, it's just a hard move. Basically, the pinch you can just see on that top volume. There's a plate for your fingers and a tiny little round thing, a little round button for your thumb. And you have to sort of pull on your thumb in order to generate the leftwards movements. But it's a big move up for that left-hand hold underneath the last section.
So let's have a look at Chloe.
See if she can stick this last move. Just struggling to find the sweet spot. You need to go right over the top. No, she's got to heel in. Come on, Chloe. That's not it. That's nearly it.
Looks like it might be close enough for her. Will she readjust? I don't know. I think she might. No.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a good shot there. You can see how slopey it is. Funny texture on these volumes as well. You think you've got it, and just as you're committing, it spits you off. It's they're a little bit unpredictable.
We saw Jonathan just as we panned across there, he just dropped out a shot. I don't think he topped that boulder. So for those of you just tuning in, live in a very warm and sunny, beautiful day here in Munich, Percy Fish, IFSC route setters alongside me.
Oh, come on, mate. Oh, unlucky there. Thought she was going to do that with 2 seconds to go, but no cigar. Oh, here we go. Kat is about to get onto the meteor problem now.
Baptiste Omets is out there. You saw him just near the camera on that previous shot. I I was chatting to one of the Swiss coaches yesterday. He thinks Baptiste has got a pretty good future ahead of him in competition climbing. I'm inclined to agree from what we've seen so far this year. And there's Manu, the leopard, the three-quarter leopard, two-thirds man, one-tenth zebra.
Yeah, a little bit of zebra maybe. I'll ask him later.
And also sort of horse's mane on top. Jealousy is a terrible thing, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got a good sequence here. Sergei Topishko on the men's 4.
That's an interesting start, men's 4. We'll go back to it in a second. We'll just focus on Manu for now. So
have you ever seen a flying cheetah?
I think we're about to.
Can he do it? Come on, Manu. Come on. No way. Oh, he stuck it.
You think that should be done dynamically, ideally?
Well, I would.
Manuel Cornu, who's owning this semi-final so far.
He's having a great round here. Must be the hair.
Baptiste.
Yeah.
No problem.
Steady away.
3 minutes extra rest. Now here's men's 4. This will be interesting. Sergei, first climber onto it.
Oh, and straight down again. Oh.
So just talk us through this start. And in fact, let's focus on Katja because this is our first look
here
at
we go.
men's 4.
She needs to work out what to do here. Not that is my advice.
What's the method she should be using here? Does she need to drop down and get her hands on top of that volume?
You employ the James Brown manoeuvre, as we like to call it. You've got to get down to get up. Yeah, so there's a tricky little sequence. You can put your heel on the middle volume and a toe down on the bottom one, and then you pinch the sloper basically match, and then there's a good little crimp just to the right. If you get that, you can mantle out again.
Katja, just wondering if she should be starting facing out there.
Well, interesting. So, here we can see Sergei. So, balancey first section. You reach up, you just pad your feet up on the volume, and you get a horrible little edge, which is okay to get here. But the last move, you need to try and grab this slopey plate with your right hand, and as you fall off, you kick your feet out. There we go.
That's one happy Ukrainian climber. Interesting to see if that's enough for him. Hang on as the scores update.
It's a scary move, this last one. It just doesn't feel right.
But he read it perfectly, didn't he? Just swung the left foot out, steady himself.
It kind of just happens like that. Katja trying to go up the corner now. That way madness lies. But why not? If in doubt.
Well, she's an incredibly experienced all-round climber, Katja. She's done it all, trad, sport, bouldering, you name it. So she won't be adverse to climbing corners and employing unusual tactics. No, but that's not going to work.
It's one of those funny ones we were like, well, we could put some black tape there just to make sure they don't go up the corner, but then sometimes it's more fun to give people the option. We couldn't really find any solution to finishing the boulder by going up the corner. Maybe the girls might do later on, but the easier way is to go where the holes go.
I mean, I guess as a route setter, you want to leave it as open as possible, really. You don't want it to be obvious.
No, I mean, and as a route setter, we try and minimise anything that can go wrong. So we try and minimise the amount of black tape we have to put on the wall, because it's rubbish for the competitors if they accidentally put their feet out. I mean, it's part of being a competitor. They have to know where the black tape is. They should look at everything and they should know what they can and they can't do. But still, I want them to be as free as possible and to try anything they want to try and solve, the problems that they're faced with. And very often, if you put tape, or it can make it so obvious what to do that there's no problem-solving element to the boulder, and that's the whole key of the discipline. Is it's a problem-solving exercise. It's not always just pure power. is trying to work out what the hell the route setter was thinking and what they want you to do.
How deceptive do you try to be as a route setter, if you know what I mean? I mean, I suppose you don't intentionally try and lead people into the wrong method, but you try and leave it open.
No, we can do. I mean, it'll depend what round it is. You know, for the semi-final they have 5 minutes. It's on site, so they may, if it's a long boulder problem, they might only get 3 or 4, maybe 2 or 3 tries. And if they don't find a good solution, they haven't got a lot of options to try other things. So putting too much complexity in there might mean that we don't get anyone doing the problem, which is you know, is not obviously what we want. For the final, sometimes we make things a little bit more cryptic. We build a little bit more complexity in, but that's because they have 2 minutes to look at the problem. They can discuss it amongst themselves, and so, you know, often the route setters will make things slightly more cryptic or slightly more ambiguous. You know, there might be several different solutions.
We see Kokoro Fuji here, current leader in the overall standings for this 2016 World Cup season.
Looking good here.
He's got a fight in his hands. If he wants to claim the title, Otomo Narasaki breathing right down his neck. Lexi rubs off, it's not too far behind either.
Yeah, looking good here. Oh, very, very steady there, Goro. Yeah, we've seen him recently in Chamonix and Villars in the league competitions. He was 8th in the final in Villars. It's not bad going.
No, it's not too shabby, is it? He's a big boulder. He's heavy, isn't he? He's a big, tall guy. Doesn't immediately strike you as someone that would be good at lead, but we do see all shapes and sizes in climbing. Koko's a good example of that.
Yeah.
Here we go here, Jakob having a hard time on men's 2.
Yeah, we got Chloe Collier here on women's 2.
She quite likes the slab, Chloe.
Yeah.
Various comps I've seen her in before. She's normally kind of managed pretty well on the slab problems. Let's see what she can do here on this this off-balance last move.
See top left of your screen there, Martin Stranik, top in men's 1. Let's see what Chloe can do. First time I've seen her without that strapping on her shoulder. Understand that injury's pretty much gone as an injury ever is. Didn't affect her too much at the start of the season, but pretty much back to normal now.
Come on, Koi. Ooh.
So that was a different way. We saw Kachizawa to go right hand, then left.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kata's way is the best way. You want to go over the top with your right hand and then match.
It looked
try
as
and
if
control the swing.
It looked like Chloe was just going to go with the left hand and then just try and steady it there.
Oh, Jonathan there, not kicking his foot out.
I wonder if he's set himself a bit longer as well. He seemed to get hold of that crimping and then go immediately. He might have had a better chance.
Oh, who's this on women's 3? Lily Kaisen, going very well. Oh, that's the kiss of death, that. I just said that, and now she seems, and now she looked like she was about to do the unthinkable and pop a knee on.
She's been brought up better than that.
Right, Lily, you've got a fight on your hands now. This is a full contact boulder.
First semi-final of 2016.
If anyone's,
for the whole crowd. No. If anyone was, go ahead.
If anyone's wondering why the women's boulders go the other way, it's because of women's 4. Women's 4 is a bit like WWF. It's just full-on brawling your way up a boulder problem.
When you say go the other way, what do you mean exactly? The women.
So the men's problems go 1, 2, 3, 4 from left to right.
Okay.
No, sorry, no, from right to left.
From right to left. Yeah.
Route setters left to right, obviously. And but the women's boulders go the other way. And the reason for that is obviously when the route setters have finished, we can look at the 4 problems that the women get as a tour, if you like, of boulder problems, and then we can make a decision of which order we want them to tackle them in based on how long the problems are, how tiring they are, what style they are, if they're more physical or if they're more balancy. And so this time, Mathieu Dutré, the chief route setter, has decided that the women can finish on these two very, very powerful boulders. The rationale behind that, I suppose, is that if you came out and you did this, what's currently women's four, if that was your first boulder problem, some of the climbers, it would just ruin them for the rest of the comp. They wouldn't be able to do anything else. They'd be completely pooped. So that's the thinking.
Giulia Medici then, number 67. On the right. We've got Keita Watabe on the left. We see the women's results coming up on the top left of your screen there. Giulia Medici, I wonder if she's part of the Medici dynasty. Pretty much invented the modern banking system.
I wouldn't have thought so. She wouldn't be in a climbing comp.
No, she'd just live in a mansion in Italy, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
Stay at home. No, fascinating family, the Medicis, if you're interested in the history of finance, which I suspect not many of you are. 16 years old, she's from Scandiano. It's just between Parma and Bologna. Very nice part of the world, just near Tuscany.
Yeah, it's nice to see some Italian girls competing again, like in getting into the semi-finals.
As we look at Moritz Hans here, again competing in front of a home crowd. We had a quick chat with him yesterday. You can see that interview in the IFSC Facebook page now. Very relaxed young man.
Oh, he's well happy with that.
That's got to feel pretty good in front of your home crowd now.
Oh.
Manuel Corno, he's making a launch for the finals here. Or even at this early stage, he's climbed superbly.
Yes.
I think that's 3 tops from Manu. Let me check. Don't forget, you can let us know what you think about what you're watching. Hashtag IFSCWC. Let's have another look at Manu. God, that's quite a launch. He used the left foot almost as an afterthought, didn't he? It's as if he realised halfway through the top that he was going to slip off.
Yeah, something needed to happen there. Yeah.
I don't think he'd read it. I could be wrong. It looked as if he did it last-second decision.
Very strong appearance.
So that's 4 tops for Manu. 4 tops,
Yeah, he had a
attempts.
fantastic round.
4 tops, 6 attempts. Interesting to see how this semi-final pans out, but that is a very strong claim for a place in the final. This is Francisca Sterra.
Let's see if she can find the magic. What's the trick?
You're the route said, what is the trick? She can't hear us.
The trick is, well, you could do it like that. The weaker of us shoving a knee bar there, and then you can just relax.
Does that require your shins be a certain length, or is it quite a doable knee bar or even for shorter climbers?
It's a nice, it's a one-size-fits-all knee bar, that one, that holds sort of flare outwards.
Back on.
Even really short leg climbers, even Dave Barons could get his knee bar in there.
Steady on.
I don't think he's listening to the live stream, hopefully.
And Dave Barons commentating in Vale. Did a great job. And I think he stayed on afterwards, did some bouldering around Colorado as we just... Yes. Oh! Sorry. Only apologise, Chaza. It's Chaza Slemensk. Just about to award her the top. But that's why I'm not a judge. Yeah, Dave, I think, speaking of Dave Barons, stayed on in Vale afterwards. He had a really good trip. Saw him briefly yesterday.
Keita Watabe on men's 3. Has he found the sequence? Yeah, I think he has.
So he'll lead with the right hand now.
Needs to be quick. There's 20 seconds left on the clock. Come
Time
on, Keita, come on, come on, come on. Oh. He's out of there.
Looks disappointed with that incredibly strong Japanese team this year. Hopefully we'll be going back to Japan next year, 2017 World Cup season. Let's have a look at the results. So we see there, Manuel Cornu, clean sweep 4 tops, took him 6 attempts. Kokoro Fuji hot on his heels, and Sergei Topishko and Jonathan. Flor Vasquez so far leading the way.
See what Jakob can do here.
Francisca Serra taking an early lead ahead of her compatriot Katja Salvine, and Melanie Sandu is in third. So good starts to semi-finals for Austria. A lot of climbers still to go though. Remember that the climbers come in reverse order, so if you qualify first in the qualifiers, you climb last in the semi-finals. So in theory, very much a theory, the stronger climbers come out last. But when you've got Jakob Schubert, Kokoro Fuji and Katja Salvine early, you realise it is just a theory.
Yeah, I mean, it might see things play out a little differently today. You know, it's warming up out there. The forecast for 27, 28 degrees, and we're under a massive plexiglass roof here, which is a bit like a greenhouse. So we'll see how the stronger folks coming out later on fare. The holds are going to get warmer and greasier. These polyurethane holds, they can feel like they go off a little bit. The texture can certainly be, should we say, suboptimal as the heat and the amount of traffic they get progresses.
Well, yesterday and the day before, the weather wasn't great, so I haven't been here on a sunny day this year. How far round will the sun come onto the wall?
I mean, the wall is positioned, it's north facing, I think, pretty much. So the sun doesn't come directly onto the wall until very, very late in the day, just on the right hand side. But it definitely comes onto the mat. When we were, like I say, when we were setting the finals for sure, and the semi-finals, it was pretty toasty out there.
So we see from Japan.
Is Martin Stranik, men's 2?
Yeah, he was doing well there. He got into that moon shape feature before, but couldn't quite mantle out. Jakob.
So for those of you just tuning in, we're live in Munich. Hot and sunny, lovely day. IFSC route setter Percy Bisham's alongside me. I believe we're experiencing. Some. Just watch Jakob. Surely from here. Yes.
Yeah.
I believe we're experiencing some live streaming issues. I've just been told, so apologies for that. We are expecting to have a better connection as the semi goes on, and certainly for the final we're not expecting any issues whatsoever. But apologies if you are experiencing some trouble with our live stream. We watch Kokoro Fuji. Ooh, that didn't look like the way to do it. Quite rushed from Kokoro. And our clock has disappeared as well. Hopefully we'll get our clock back. We watch Martin Stranik launch himself leftwards. Men's 2, proving difficult. Martin not lacking strength. He thought there could be a boulder that would suit him. So, Misha Picolras competes for Italy, lives in Innsbruck. Not a bad life.
Meikataki there, I don't know if anyone saw her on women's 4. She was doing really well there. She got very high, got the bonus. Then just slipped off. Looked like she'd been fighting a bear. Slumped on the mat. Oh, nicely done there.
So I believe that's 4 tops for Kokoro. So good start for him. Let's have a look at.
Oh,
now then,
Jakob going again.
Well, obviously, either he liked the boulder very much, or I think more likely it's some sort of technical issue. It'd be interesting to find that out. We've already seen him top this.
Maybe he's just having another burn. Yeah, he's just training on it. He's just having another go for training. Did a few pull-ups there.
Obviously very flattering for a route setter. He liked it so much he thought he'd have another go.
Do it twice, yeah. Still not a hair out of place. I don't know if you noticed that.
That was Melanie Sandu that we just saw disappearing. So there we have it. You can see just behind on the right there is where the athletes come through. We saw it briefly. You can see a bit of the actual Olympic Stadium. As I say, we're not in the bottom of the stadium where the track and field would have taken place. You see the stands there. We're actually on one of the huge walkways that go around the top, but just behind the wall, unbelievable view of the stadium. 1972 Olympics.
Yeah, scary to think the stadium's as old as I am. It looks better than I do, though.
Who's aged better? Get on Twitter, hashtag IFSCWC.
Obviously the stadium.
Ja, und Kola Mali aus dem Iran. So eine große Überraschung ist es nicht. Also er ist schon ein paar Halbfinals
Here's
geklettert.
Baptiste again onto men's 3.
Ich denke mal, ja, Iran ist doch eher ein Kletterexot.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. We'll try and get hold of a judge or a
Da hat sich eine
technical
schwache
delegate, such as Graham Alderson, who we chatted to earlier. We'll try and find out what the problem was with Jacobs. What looked like successful top on men's 3.
I think it could well be that he maybe didn't start with 2 feet on the starting hold.
Here's Moritz Hans, trying to figure out that move left. Looked close. I think he'll get that. It's Shaza Slemenzek. Women's 2 on the slab. She's taken a chalk back. She thinks there's a rest to be had. She's right. Let's get a quick recap of the men's results. So Kokoro Fuji took 11 attempts to get his 4 tops. So he trails Manuel Cornu, who streaks into an early lead.
Fantastic picture. Leah Crane. She gets one hand on and then the second. One hand is off. Now she needs to get
That's
the second
Britain's Leah Crane there. We can see on women's 1 just getting herself sorted before hopefully topping. Yes.
Very nice there from Leah. Steady away. I think that was her first try.
Great job from Leah Crane.
Now, is that just the corner of the wall, or is that actually black tape on the right-hand side of men's 4?
Yeah, you can't go in the corner.
Would there be a way of doing it with the corner?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the tape's largely to keep the women off the arete, but it's another example of the route setters making things less ambiguous. You know, like we've basically said, like, don't go in the corner.
Yeah.
You might be able to find a solution that way, but there's enough opportunity to mess things up without bringing that into it as well.
Don't waste your time in the corner.
Yeah. And a lot of the time we try and keep out of corners anyway. If you get bridged in a corner, you can stop, and we don't want climbers to stop. We want them to fight. Basically, we want them to be moving and to be fighting on the boulders. Makes for good climbing and good viewing, I always think. Oh, interesting.
If you've been trad climbing, I'm sure you've experienced a long belay while your mate gets in the corner and doesn't want to leave. We've all been there.
Nicely done there. Kita Watabe, very experienced competitor.
So here's Giulia Medici, possibly part of the banking dynasty, but more likely not. So this will be interesting. Kalamali Barat today, climbing for Iran.
Yeah, strong competitor, really good. We've had an Iranian route setter, Artemis, helping us out this week. Oh, this is a good effort here. Francisca Sterra, couldn't she do here? She needs to match this if she can. Keep pulling. We can't quite see the finishing hold. It's just, here we go, here's a better view. She's got a toe on. Oh dear. There, that expression says it all. She looks like she's been in a good fight.
That was Baptiste Omets topping out on men's 3 there.
There's 35 seconds left. I don't think Francesca's going to have another chance on women's 4.
Suspect not.
It's a long problem. It really takes it out of you.
Remember that when your time's up in the semi-finals. There's no continuing your attempt. So these climbers on the wall here, they've got less than 15 seconds if they want to get a top out of these boulders. It's not enough time. So we're now into the top half of yesterday's qualifiers. Leah Crane was the first woman, and Colin Barat today was the first man in the top who finished in the top half of yesterday's qualifiers. So this semi-final is beginning to really take shape. There's Dmitry Sharafutinov nearest the camera. We've not seen him at his best at times this year, but IFSC route setter Percy Bishton, who's alongside me, he thinks he could be peaking at just the right time.
Maybe a theory, maybe, you know, one of my many theories, but they're almost always wrong. But I know that you know, certainly for the Russian athletes, targeting the big World Championship events are definitely is definitely something that they prefer to do. Here comes Jakob.
Now he's just edging his way across these volumes.
Not the best slab climber in the world, Jakob, let's be fair. He is strong as you like, but he's not always at home on the slabs.
And there's Fanny Gilbert. Haven't seen her yet. First thing we see of her, she tops women's one, scurries back into isolation.
Oh, Mel Sandoz putting a knee on. I don't know what's going on with the French team today. We saw Manuel Cornu putting his knee on men's 2. Now Mel Sandoz on women's 3.
Is there no pride?
Well, come on. They'll be getting a dressing down later on in their team debrief.
They will. You climb like Brits.
Yeah, we're not having that. They'll be jamming next. Let's see what Jakob can do on this move. A little bit terrifying.
When you say terrifying, just to explain, it just feels like that foot's going to give way and you're just going to slip off.
Yeah, it feels terrifying. you know when you get to those positions where I can see it, I know what I have to do, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's one of those. That little hole he's got with his left hand, every 1 degree you turn it leftwards, it becomes exponentially more and more terrifying. We made a little adjustment this morning. We made it slightly less terrifying, and
there's Dimitri. Looks in good shape as well. Looks very trim. Could but just be me. It looks like he's. I saw him the other day. Looks like he's lost a bit of weight. Not that he had a lot to lose. He looks very trim right now.
Chloe Collier on women's 4.
As I say, it's good to see Chloe without the shoulder tape on. She was bothered by a minor shoulder injury the first part of the season.
See what she's going to do here.
Now you think this is the way to do it, don't you? You got to go down.
Heel on. Yeah. The James Brown. Here we go.
Just have to be careful not to. Well, she touched them out anyway, but careful not to just dab them out with that left foot.
Yeah, it's a funny start. Tricky position to be in. Mel Sandoz again. Looking good here. Possibly regretting wearing shorts shortly if she tries to do this knee bar.
Need some skateboard pads.
Come on, she just needs to stick this last section.
This looks very promising.
Yes, there we go. Textbook.
Didn't overthink the top, did she? She just realised she could get steady once she had that left hand on.
Just saw that her knee fitted in, so shoved it in, and all of a sudden the magic happened.
Are you by any chance a British climber? Getting the impression you might be a British climber. Loves a knee bar.
That was set by a German. It's easier in Lederhosen. Oh, look at the little inset shot there. We can see Chloe going well on this boulder.
So Yari Sakamoto here. Just see her on the top section of women's 2. Women's 2, excuse me.
Some good action here. And Chloe going well on women's 2. Women's 4, sorry. This is definitely going to be a last go on this. Let's see if she can finish it off. Needs to get that heel on.
Yeah, she's only got 30 seconds left. She won't have time for another go. It's taken her a long time to get up here. There's a lot of moves.
Ooh, no. Needs to go up with the left hand and match the volume. It's a strange move with your thumbs. There's still no top on women's 4.
And we see, wow, the crowd's filled up. We're tucked away actually, just out of sight from the crowd.
Yeah, it's an amazing crowd for a semi-final. It's I think pretty much full out there.
We're actually tucked away our booth. We have a very, very limited view of the wall itself. If we stand up, we can see it, but one of the organisers was saying the crowd will be all around you later. So this place, every square inch gets full with someone just trying to get a glimpse of the wall, because I can assure you, from where we are, you can't see a lot unless you stand up on the railings or something. But
it's a good crowd. So there's a lot down at the front that are pretty tanked up already. 10:30, the beer tent was open.
yeah, I think if you see a big plastic cup full of yellow liquid in a few hours from now, it won't be beer. A few people don't want to lose their spots down the front. They'll resort to anything. So I believe that's Leah Crane. Yes, it is.
Oh, she's got a good technique here.
She was delighted to make this semi-final. I saw yesterday. Couldn't stop smiling. And made a pretty good start to it.
Yeah, no, nice from Julie there. Leah Crane on women's 2.
So presumably had an attempt already, Leah. Just shape you up for another one. There's Moritz. I'm in front of a partisan German crowd.
Yeah, nicely done there, Moritz.
One of the biggest cheers of the day so far. As I say, we're live in Munich. Apologies if you are experiencing some minor problems with the live stream. We're told the connection is improving, and for the final it'll be perfect. I'm not a technical guy, I don't know what the issue is, but apologies if you are experiencing any problems. It is being resolved as we speak. There's Baptiste. Men's 4, tops coming thick and fast now.
Yeah, some of these stronger climbers are out.
Yes.
Ooh, with his hand there. Interesting.
So here's Leah. Didn't see much of her on women's 1. She was in and out.
Super quick. Yeah. See what she can do here. See if the acro yoga can help her on this top move.
I'll explain in a second for those of you who don't follow. Let's have a look. Just think. That was a Katja Zalvine method. That right hand then immediately left. Katja didn't stick it first time. Try again, Leah. Yeah, if you don't follow Leah or Shorter Coxey on social media, the two of them do some pretty impressive acrobatics together. What would you describe it as? Acrobatics, gymnastics?
It's acro yoga, apparently. It's, I'm not sure. I'm too old for acro yoga myself. I prefer just a cup of tea, really. It's a bit of a sit down. It's sort of, yeah, yoga balancing on people and like a human pyramid-y sort of, I don't know.
It's very impressive.
It's not for me, Charlie, to be fair. It's not for me.
No, I'm more of a cup of tea man myself. But
yeah, fair enough.
Just see the men's results, top left of your screen there.
Oh yeah, Manu Kornu just had a blinding round today, 4 and 6.
He's straight into a lead.
Golamali, the Iranian competitor, he is incredibly strong. Chatting to one of his mates yesterday, Artemis, the Iranian route setter, has been helping us. Come on, Golamali, come on. Push, push, push.
It's already been 11th in Mumbai. He's not made a final yet this year, though.
No, I think
be great to see him in one.
He's one of these climbers who's amazing in qualification, but as he progresses in the competition, I think psychological, issues can come into play. Your expectations for the semi-finals and finals, and can be a bit of a psychological battle out there. Come on, Leah Crane.
So Leah, as I say, she used the Katja Zalvine technique last time.
Slow, quick but slow.
Come on, Leah!
Great boulder this, because you can almost see the competitors thinking.
Yes. Ooh, just a bit too much rotation there. Couldn't quite dig in.
She won't have enough time for another attempt.
No, I think she might have blown it.
So Golamali is powering his way through this men's 2. This looks promises. Got 12 seconds should be enough just to set himself and go, but he hasn't got much time to play with. 8 seconds now.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's going to time out. He needs to press it out. No.
You might be able to hear there in the beeps. And we're getting the venue to signify when the climbers have 5 seconds left. There's Misha Picoleras, Italian expat living in Innsbruck. Just going back to Manuel Korn, who's stormed into an early lead here. It's not made a final yet this year. 7th in Innsbruck, his highlight thus far.
The French team is another team I would expect to be playing their season out differently. Obviously they're hosting the World Championships, and I would expect there to be a very, very strong French contingent for the world, for their home World Championships.
Don't forget worldclimbing2016.com if you would like tickets to come and see the World Championships in Paris. It's going to be in the enormous Accor Arena in the Bercy suburb of Paris. It's going to be fantastic. 5 days of action.
Martin Stranek.
What a funny season he's had, Martin Stranek. Flew all the way to Japan and missed isolation in Kazo. Extraordinary.
You shouldn't laugh, but you know.
Well,
they don't have a lot to think about. You just have to go to isolation at the right time and then climb. It's not a complicated job.
I try to be sympathetic, but part of me does agree. You've just got to be there on time. You never know, though. I'm only ever one event away from turning up late for the live stream.
Oh, nicely done there.
I don't want it to come back and bite me on the backside. Very happy. Yeah, Martin Stranek, I was just saying, he was second in Meiringen. Great result, and then missed ISO in Kazo the next week.
Yeah, always variable. Like Martin, I think he had a 2nd place in the World Championships in the Vilas many moons ago, which is a fantastic, maybe 2nd or 3rd. But yeah, it looks like a fantastic from nowhere almost.
On his day, he's capable of doing it.
Oh, mate, super strong climber, super strong.
Adam Ondra actually said to me, "Oh my, Martin is so strong." I thought, wow.
Yeah.
High praise. He's a strong guy, yes.
But he's a rubbish timekeeper, apparently.
It would seem so.
Right, come on, Dimitri. I think he must have dropped this once already, because he's only got 2 minutes 15 left on the clock.
Yeah, at least one attempt already, Dimitri, I'd imagine.
Oh, come on, Dima, get him up. You see that? I won't say what we'd like, the shaky thing in his leg there, bit of Elvis leg going.
Elvis has left the boulder, unfortunately. Here's Martin. I don't want to say grovelling up this volume. That's another British
I think that's a fair description.
For our European and American viewers, I can only apologise for how British the commentary box is this morning. It's all sorts of.
Might be getting a bit of extra. He's very hairy, Martin. Very hairy. He might be getting a bit of extra adherence to this volume with his legs. He might have left a bit of hair on there.
He's just waxed his right knee by the looks of it. I'll go and check that volume later. See if the ball.
Come on, Martin. Come on. Don't be scared. Oh no.
I think he'll have another go at that. Minute 20 left for sure.
Well, can he get there again? That's the thing. The way he got there was a little bit unconventional.
It certainly was. Tasai Shimatsu, there he is.
See what he can do here. He's got a good method here, holding the top of this thing to try and press it out, getting the opposition going, getting his foot up. Need to be a bit careful where you push on that bottom hold, otherwise you can end up stitching yourself up. I ended up standing on my own hand on that, which is very difficult when you want to move your hand but you're standing on it, and also quite painful.
So let's have another look. Martin, he's
off.
I think he's going to have another go, yeah. He's obviously not taking too much out of him physically.
No, it's
Fanny Gilbert, she made light work of women's one, so go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think you can throw yourself around a bit at the bottom. There's no pulling involved really on men's four.
managing her best, so close on women's 2. Looked like she just rushed the top. She probably had a bit more time than she realised. Martin almost certainly going to be timed out.
He's lost some skin there. Yeah. Straight off to the first day 10.
Yeah, he's one of those climbers, Martin. You kind of feel he's got a big win in him somewhere. Let's have a look at the results. So the only 2 men so far with a clean sweep of tops, Manuel Kono and Kokoro Fuji. Kokoro took more attempts though. Baptiste Omets, one of the up-and-coming young stars of climbing. He's current 3rd. So Melanie Sandoz of France leads the way. First place.
No one's done women's 4 yet.
No, yet to see a top.
Good.
So got a pretty strong field to come, I think it'd be fair to say.
Yeah, I was thinking the semi-final you get a bit of a mid-cycle slump. Like normally the first competitors who come out are the people who kind of just snuck in at the end, normally climb out of their skins. Then the middle order, normally things settle down a bit, and then the big hitters come out at the end.
Now then, Jongwon Chon, this is either body art plus or...
I've heard that he can't afford that kinesthesia tape, so he just draws it on with a Sharpie.
That's just plain old gaffer, isn't it? Save you a bit of cash.
Oh yeah, look at this.
Leah
David
Crane.
Fernberg. Oh yeah, the crowd love that. Fantastic effort.
Jongwon Chon, there he is. Reigning champion from 2015. Good start to this semi-final. Here's Leah Crane. The British crowd will love this if she can top.
See what she can do here.
Lovely controlled style so far.
Yes.
Get that knee bar. There it is.
Yeah, nicely done. Second top for Leah.
That's
She needs to get them in. Needs to do the last one really to be in with a chance.
Yeah, she's had a solid season, Leah Crane. Very consistent without making a final.
Yeah, nicely done there.
Moritz Hans, he's happy with that. As I say, we chatted to him yesterday. Check out the IFSC Facebook page. If you want to let us know what you think, hashtag IFSCWC, social media, get yourself on Twitter. Let us know what you think of this semi-final here in Munich.
I can tell you something, the view from in here is better than the view that the route setters normally get from hunkered down in front of the wall.
That's great. She's media trained. Look at that, straight down the barrel.
Just checking. So that's the bonus.
Yeah, cheers, Slemenzek.
The witch's hat.
Is that what you call that volume?
Almost.
Yeah, I was about to say, Leah Crane, very consistent year, nothing better than at 11th. She's only missed 1 semi.
Yeah, come on. She's going to get this little back step in. No.
She's got time for another attempt though, 1:45 left on the clock. He's got O'Malley.
I think some of these girls are going to be feeling it by the end of this semi-final round. It's a pretty savage affair.
So there's Leah Crane. We saw her top women's 1, seemingly without too much trouble.
Yeah, this might be less her style really, Julia, on this one. She's someone described her style yesterday as a bit more of a brawler. She likes it when it's steep and powerful. Seems to be doing pretty well here though.
I could sympathise with that. I'm an industrial climber.
Yeah, it may not look pretty, it may look pretty agricultural, but it's effective.
Well, that's the problem with me, it's not very effective either.
As long as you're having fun, it doesn't matter, does it? Here we go, come on Julia.
Oh, so close. I wondered if it looked from the camera angle as if Colin O'Malley was underneath today. He might get a bit of a shot when Leah Crane lands on him. No? Don't collect your scorecard, have another go. Time. Maybe
right.
not.
If she pulls this off with 25 seconds left to go, I will be impressed.
Yeah, she's got a lot of moves to do. I believe she's already been to the bonus.
Interesting, Interesting way she's doing this, matching that horrible little edge. It's a lot easier just to push on the great big like tongue-shaped feature sticking out behind you. Oh no, Golamali's out there as well.
We only saw the briefest glimpse of Akina Gucci, but she's already been out.
I think it's fair to say that she wasn't troubled by problem one.
She was not troubled by problem one, no. She's coming into this in good form, won the Asian Continental Championships a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, an amazing climber, Akio. Always very impressive to watch.
It's Evgenia Lapshina that you just saw a glimpse of. There's some of our crowd. As I say, this, for a semi-final, this is extraordinary, and I can assure you, every square inch you can see there will be full of people by the final tonight. Roof keeps the noise in as well, it's great.
Reminds me of a Belgian cycling velodrome on one of these 6-day events where there's lots of people smoking and sloshing beer around. I think it's going to be a pretty noisy final, it's fair to say.
That's what we want. So, Mikkel Mawem, not trouble so far.
Nicely done.
Fanny Gibert, she's climbing well today. Commentated in Meiringen back in April. The way she's climbing today, don't think she'll be available for commentating in the final. She'll be too busy climbing. Here's Misha. Misha Picolruaz.
What can he do here? Yeah, nicely done.
And again, it was almost as if he didn't read that left foot. It was a bit of an afterthought. He needed it, but I'm not sure he spotted it in advance.
It just goes there.
But you find your foot just heads to it with that.
You're falling off, and then you stay on. It's one of those funny sort of, in a bizarre quirk of fate, the route says to actually put a hold where you want one.
There's Dmitry Sharafutinov, men's 3.
Looking uninterested there, it's like I've done another boulder. Nothing.
Doesn't give much away.
No.
Stasigeho, Serbia. Not taking quite as much rest here as some of the girls have.
Doesn't need it. She's just going to the top.
I suppose there's always a temptation when you can rest, just...
No.
So there's some black tape presumably in that corner.
What we call a rookie error. She knew it was there, but she forgot all about it.
Yeah, it wasn't visible on the camera angle, but there is black tape in that corner. She's not allowed to use the side panel she used, so will not be a top for her.
Is Evgenia Lapshina. Bit of a surprise in the qualifying round yesterday.
Yeah, qualified, came through in 5th.
Yeah, but she climbed well down the order. I think she was 100 and something competitor out. Well, not maybe not that many, but yeah, well down the order. Just when we were thinking that the semi-finals places had been selected. She pulled off a stunning effort. I think she did 5 boulders.
Well, Munich 2016 is her first Boulder World Cup, so not a bad start.
Yeah.
Done some lead before.
Yeah, nice done there for Stasa.
Looks a bit frustrated in herself.
Oh, come on. What's she going to do?
Will this be the first top of women's 4? Oh,
no.
At least you can see the funny side.
Didn't know what to do.
No, Yari Sakamoto that was.
And I don't think she's got enough time to have another go.
No, it's such a long boulder.
Here's another good haircut there.
As John Won-Chon is waiting to come on, the stands at the Olympic Stadium visible behind him. Yeah, she is going to have another go. She's going to have to climb extremely fast.
Or fall off.
Hard when you're rushing like that, so many moves to get through. You can see the sun beginning to work its way around now, so the back end of the mat, furthest from the wall, beginning to get quite warm, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it just creeps round. You can see it on the side of the slab.
As I say, we're somewhere between indoors and outdoors here. We're basically outdoors with a huge transparent canopy above us. Let's have a quick recap of the results. See Manuel Cornu, best result of 7th so far this year. He streaks into an early lead ahead of overall leader this year, Kokoro Fuji. Moritz Hans, we're delighted with that in front of a home crowd, 3rd place.
Ja, und damit ist unser dritten Boulder.
Have a look at the women's in just a second. Here they are. So yeah, Fanny Gibert climbing very well. Great day for France. Melanie Sondo in 2nd and Leah Crane 3rd place. As I say, Leah climbed consistently this year without making a final. Is today the day? You suspect a top on women's 4 would certainly be enough.
Yeah, let's see if she's got anything left in the tank. I think she did women's 3 fairly quickly, so she may not be too tired. These are the sorts of considerations the route setters make. So, you know, women's 3 is a long boulder, it's powerful. You know, it's hard to see the angle of the wall, but it's steep. It's about 30, 35 degrees. Just takes it out of you. We know that, you know, if the climbers need more than a couple of tries to do this boulder, then their chances of doing the next boulder are very, very diminished. So
there's Leah Crane. Yes, she was absolutely over the moon to make the semi-final. Certainly making a good effort at making the final. Now we have Clementine Kaiser out.
just had a lovely picture text of me and Charlie from Martin Smith with the message "Anything goes" in Germany. Apparently, thank you, Martin.
Martin's just sent Percy Bish and IFSC route setters alongside me. Just sent him a Photoshop. I can assure you, it is a Photoshop photo.
I don't remember us being in the hoist before.
No. In some sort of. I don't know what to describe it actually. A hoist. We'll leave it as a hoist.
It's one of Martin's favourite nightclubs in London.
Yeah. In Soho, yeah.
Yeah. Right there.
I mean, I haven't been obviously, but I've heard about it. There's Akina Noguchi. Women's 2, no problem, as I say, just won the Asian Continental Championships. Crowd going absolutely wild here.
Has a German climbed something? I missed that bit. Oh yes. David Fernenberg there on men's 3.
Yep.
He's having a cracking semi-final as well. We may well see him in the final.
And he's gone for the Michael Phelps. You know the brown spots. I don't know if you've seen any of the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. The brown spots on the skin. It's to do with blood circulation, apparently. Stimulates blood circulation. But yeah, swimmer Michael Phelps in Rio de Janeiro's been doing it. David obviously liked the look of that. There's Leah Crane, currently in 3rd place. There's a huge crowd watching this Munich semi-final. IFSC route setter Percy Bish is alongside me. We've got a perfect day for this semi-final. But Percy just responding on his phone to the various abuse he's getting from his friends who are watching the live stream.
My wife was just wondering if I could pass on the recipe for courgette relish. I just had to send her a reply saying I was a bit busy at the minute, but if anyone has any good recipes for courgette relish and they'd like to send them in, that would be very welcome.
Well, maybe just read out her number and then everyone can just text her directly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be allowed to go home then.
So
Right.
Leah Crane, 1 minute to go on this women's 4.
Oh, she's breathing hard here. She's having it's a bit of a workout, this boulder.
It looks exhausting. A minute. I know she's got a minute on the clock. That is not that long for this boulder.
Oh, she's doing it the hard way. Come on, Leah. Get the crimp, yes. Foot on the thing, press out with the left hand.
She's got the beater on. You can see the fatigue showing on her face. You hope she's got enough.
Yeah.
She's climbing it very smoothly. You can tell how much effort's going in, but so far so good. Something resembling a rest here, it looks like. Close to a rest almost.
Well, yeah, it's
Getting a lot of weight through your feet.
That's the bonus hold, but yeah, no top for Leah.
So Leah, she was in provisional third. As I say, she's not quite made a semi this year. Not quite made a final, excuse me. Will that be enough?
Ja, wenn sich die besten Eigenschaften von beiden zugezogen hat. Gell? So, aber jetzt haben wir hier noch 5 Sekunden.
There's just a quick recap. Manuel Cornu, looking for his first final in 2016, is followed by Kokoro Fuji. And the two locals, Moritz Hans, David Fernenberg. Crowd here in Munich. Fanny Gibert leads the way early on. Ahead of Leah Crane and Leah Crane. Sasugiho and Akira Noguchi lower down the order. Well worth keeping an eye on, though. 2 tops for them out of 2 so far. Here's Dimitri. And next to him, she just walked out the shot and she's walked back in. Thank you. There's Melissa Neve. Not seen her here since Vale. 4th in Vale.
Yeah, very, very consistent climber. Very can do a bit of everything. Very good slab climber.
I wonder if today is her day. She never won a World Cup. Be interested to see how Shauna Coxey deals with this. Actually, she's already got the overall title in the bag. The overall title in the men's competition still very much up for grabs.
I mean, Leah will want to win. That's what Leah does. Leah wins. That's on Shauna. Yeah, Shauna will want to win for sure. Especially here, you know, she won last year, and it's such an amazing venue. You know, you want to be standing on the top step of the podium, don't you, at the end of the evening? Dimitri facing out.
Have you tried this? Now then, Judge not happy with something there.
It's because he needs to start with 2 hands and 2 feet on that left-hand volume.
Yeah, I wonder if he didn't do that when he pulled on. Obviously not. Here's Fanny Gibert.
Come on, Fanny. Let's see what she can do here. She needs to backstep on that horn behind her. It's like, oops.
So this is that's women's 4. So energy use not an issue. She can burn herself out, but it's time. It takes so long to get up that boulder.
See Dimitri facing out here.
Unusual method.
And then crimping in a screw hole there. Oh.
I thought that was about to work.
No. I don't think so. We tried facing out. The view's better, but
now then, this is Evgenia Lapshina on the right there. And Tazai Shamatsu on the left. As I say, hopefully we'll be going back to Japan next year. Still a withdrawal for all the sushi.
Ja, wir sehen Fanny Gibert auf der rechten Seite an diesem schweren, unbezwungenen
Evgenia going well here.
She's struggling with this mantle move, it would seem.
I think it's quite hard if you're tall. She's one of the taller female climbers, and I think it's a bit, it's an awkward space to try and fit yourself into.
Just that bit more leverage required, isn't there, when you got longer limbs? So I'm told.
Yeah. Oh, unlucky there.
Yeah, that's a good hold he's going for.
Yeah, it's one of those funny things, you know, your body's rotating in a funny sort of way if you're in any way out of control. Oh, Dima looking almost static on that top move.
It's funny what you were saying earlier about how your left foot just sort of finds its way over. We saw that with Dimitri. He lunged, and it was as if he didn't even realise his left foot fired over.
To be fair, I don't think Dima needed that then. He was just crimping down on that left-hand edge so hard. I think he could have just locked that, and
that was belt and braces from Dimitri. So here's Fanny Gibert.
She's had a good run on this already. I don't know if she's got any. See how her fitness is basically. I think that's basically what it's going to come down to. Like, she knows the way, but it's a thick boulder. There's a lot of moves, and they're all brick hard basically. There's no hiding place. It's just.
Yeah, she climbed really well this year though. She's been top 10 in 4 out of the 5 World Cups she's competed in before today. One final, that was in Kazo, got 5th. So, the only one she didn't perform was Innsbruck, 21st. Yeah, she's climbed really well this way, Fanny.
Yeah.
So we see says I. Try again.
Oh, come on, this time.
Surely got it nailed from here. That is a good top hold. Much more controlled. Yeah.
Found that little Egyptian. Oh, Fanny's still going. Come on, Fanny, that's the bonus. Needs to grab this one. Ooh.
I think if she'd had another 30 seconds, we could have seen the top. Watch the top out again. Yeah, it's a good hold, the top of that, and the camera's perfectly positioned. What a guy. What a guy mounted that camera. Clementine Kaiser there on the right. Kong-Won Chon on the left with his excessive taping. His girlfriend Sol Sa, she's not here this weekend, in case you're wondering where she is. She's not taking part in this World Cup.
She's about the only climber who isn't taking part this weekend, I think. Like, it's just been nuts, so busy.
We had 140 men take part yesterday and 84 women. There were more registered, but that's the number of climbers who turned up and took part. And there's Miho Nanaka, see her there, on women's one. Just held the swing. Miho, currently in second in the overall standings, will be looking to hold on to that.
Yeah, you can see the really experienced competitors there. They're turning their hands on the volumes. They know exactly how to climb on these things. Hang on, what's Davey going to do here?
I wonder if he's going to use his left hand on that volume that the youth route setters designated as a foothold.
Nicely done.
I'm sure you heard that cheer through my microphone. Very happy home crowd. There's Zerbi Bonde. We haven't seen him yet. Just top men's two. Has he? What was the judge saying to him then? Is he just having a break? He is. I thought I wondered if he was just discussing something with the judge. No, Leah Crane now. I think she might get on with this boulder.
I think she's already had a go.
Must have had at least one attempt.
The tricky section is basically coming around underneath this tongue-shaped volume. It's there's a number of different ways of doing it, and they're all hard.
You can see she's just trying to use that left foot to hold herself in place, but not getting
Here
anything from it yet.
Into the little crimp. Now I think the best way here is just to stand, put your foot out on that big rhino horn and mantle.
Good to go back to Leah Crane. In the meantime, we've got Kong-Won Chon.
Making short work of this.
No problems. Clementine just figure out that women's two.
What's she do here? Oh, just came up short there. Not
Yeah,
quite too slow.
It'd be good if we could see Leah Crane. Here she is.
Oh, here we go. She needs to match ideally here, because she wants to shoulder this one.
That is the first top
good
of women's four. And Leah Crane was so happy about making the semi-finals. She's the happiest woman in Munich. She could have done enough to make the final here.
No, I think that'll definitely put her in the final.
And look what it means.
She's well happy with that.
She's heading for isolation. I think she's heading for the final. We will wait to confirm, but I think she's done enough. So Clementine, 1 minute 20 on the clock. Plenty of time for, thought, one attempt, possibly two if she slips off early on. Not too physical, this boulder. Yes, Leah Crane takes a provisional lead in this semi-final. Also in the lead, Manuel Cornu. David Fernenberg overtakes Kokoro Fuji to take provisional second in the semi-final. Kokoro Fuji in third.
Aber das ist toll, wenn das deutsche Team so ausgeglichen ist. Da läuft es bei einem Jan nicht so gut und dann springen die anderen in die
She's struggling with that mantle shove. Is it better to try and undercling the hold above?
Yeah, it's like a push we pull you. It's a funny sort of move. You push down and really crank up on that undercut. But at the same time it's brutal and it's balancing. I mean she's not going to have time to do this now, I don't think.
Gonna have to shift if she is. No. See Melissa Lenev there round by the back. It's Team France all over the camera right now.
There's loads of them.
And we can have a look. There we go. Leah Crane, as I say, happiest woman in Munich to make the semi-final. If she makes a final, I wonder what she'll do. Sasha DiGiulian and Akina Gucci make up the rest of the top three. Yeah. If she makes the final, she'll be in Hofbrauhaus in central Munich, toasting it with a beer, I'd have thought. Now then, is that Shauna Coxey? It is. There she is. Just stepped out of our shot. Come back, please, Shauna. No, she's gone. There's Alexei Rubtsov.
See how Alexei climbs. He was absolutely on amazing form yesterday. He looked like he was in a different class to the rest of the competitors, like a machine.
When he's climbing well, he just looks as if there's nothing he can't do.
It didn't look like any moves were difficult for him at all yesterday. He was just...
So Shauna Cox, she's already claimed the overall title, but as we've already said, she'll want to win. Grew up very close to where I'm from actually, so this big yellow thing in the sky will be quite unfamiliar to her.
Yeah, she was trying to show on yesterday. She's quite happy. It was nice and cool yesterday. It means that she's still got some skin for today. I think she'll need it.
See in the background there, Mikko Malweb, very athletic top to men's 3.
Well, he's going to somersault over the top of the wall then.
I think you're just allowed straight into the final if you do that. Doesn't matter what else you do. So Shauna very controlled as ever. Amazing to watch. When you watch some of the climbers, they might not even be able to do that move, or they really slap for it with Shauna. She just cruises up there. Great to watch. 3 minutes, more than 3 minutes still left on the clock. Back into isolation. That was Albon Levier we just caught a glimpse of there. We might be about to see another top on.
Oh, Staza. What can she do? Needs to match it. Hard match, yeah, puts the toe behind. Lovely. She's well happy with that. That's going to put her in the final, I'm pretty sure.
Side. What can he do with this men's 4? Just shuffling the... Yes! That was a nice way of doing it, all in one go.
No hesitation. Get over and done with nice and quick.
No, that was one of the nicest top outs I've seen. Really smooth.
Yeah.
So just to confirm, yeah, Sasha DiGiulian tops all 4 boulders, so she overtakes Leah Crane.
Yeah, 4 and 4. 4 and 6, sorry.
Yeah, 4 tops, 6 attempts for Stasha. Julia was 3 tops, 5 attempts. Remember, for those of you new to the sport, the most important measurement is how many tops you get, then it comes down to the number of attempts. If you're still tied, then it's how many bonus holes you got, and how many, finally, you're still tied how many attempts they took you.
Leah Crane hanging in there at the minute in 5th position. I'm not sure that it's going to be tight whether or not she's going to make it into the final. There's some strong girls still to come. Melissa Lenev still in the round, Shauna Coxey.
There'd have to be quite a big surprise, you'd have to say, for Leah to make it through as things stand, but as I say, she's been close this year. A woman that will want to be in the final, Melissa Lenev. Always looks like she's enjoying herself, but this mantle onto the slab is enough to wipe the smile off anyone's face.
Yeah, I think these girls are going to need to do 4 boulders really to make it into the final.
Yeah, to guarantee a place in the final, I think you're probably right.
Oh! No!
That is about as close to falling off as you can get and not fall off.
But falling up.
Falling up. I don't think there was anyone more surprised in the Olympic Park in Munich than Melissa Lenev when she stayed on there. There's Albon Levier. walk around there. There's Evgenia Lapshina on this brutally physical women's 3. Just wait till she gets to number 4.
jetzt alle Athleten hier im Wettkampf heute.
She's taking it out of her. She's out of time.
Just unlucky there. Did really well yesterday, but just struggling now a little bit towards the back end of the semi-final. So obviously taking it extra a bit yesterday's effort. Very, very big Russian contingent out in here. There's very big team entered. There's a training camp I think they're having here this week. Pre-Paris warm-up.
Come on, team. Now this will be interesting. There's Tomoa Narasaki. He must have already been out onto men's 1. We barely got a glimpse of him if we saw him at all. Always busy on the stage in these semi-finals. So some of the boulders now finished. All the climbers have done at least one boulder. So men's 1, women's 1, they're done. Miho Nanaka, second overall. Women's boulder 2.
Bei tollem Wetter, bei idealen Bedingungen, deutlich besser als gestern. Da hat's Dauerregen gehabt, kalte Temperaturen von 14 Grad.
Had a really good season, Miho. Need a good season to be second overall. Won in Mumbai. What a great World Cup that was. Third in Kazo, third in Chongqing. Yeah, had a really, really good trip to Asia.
Oh, Jeremy, too quick.
Jimmy Bondet.
Just rushed it a little bit. I think his foot just slipped out of that toe hook and he just thought he'd smash for that next hold anyway. Let's see if Vicky, is that, Miho can,
Miho, yeah.
Let's see if she can hold on to the swing here.
Very calm so far. What will the method be? It looks like she's going to go with the right hand first. It looks like it. And another top, women's 4, Akia Noguchi. Just double checking with the judges that they've awarded her the top. Very happy. So Miho Nanaka did make it. There
Yes.
she is.
Happy with that.
So Clementine, look at this very steep, very physical women's 3.
Yeah, surprising she's struggling with this really. I thought the style of this one would suit the ladies. Like they tend to be a lot happier on the very powerful style.
Jung Won Chom. He likes those camouflage pants. I think they've been to every World Cup this season.
So we are now here.
Poor lad, he's got to go and get that tape off now. That's going to hurt.
Male and female make it to the
I wouldn't have the bottle, I'd just leave it on and wait till it came off in the shower.
World Cup final here in Munich.
There's our crowd in Munich, as to say. Amazing crowd for a semi-final. It's only going to get bigger for the final. If you are in Munich and you think about coming down, get on your way now, because by this evening it's going to be very full. There's Team Austria dominating the team area down the front in the green shirts.
Bernburg from Germany so far.
Only just over the border from Austria, about an hour north of the border.
And then the lady
Brought a big team with them.
John Cornu and Bernburg.
It's Clementine.
Nicely controlled so far.
Oh, unlucky there. She just reached to the top of the hold. If you look carefully at the bonus hold, it's actually tucked under. It's a hold screwed onto a hold, so it's just tucked to underneath. You can grab it like an undercut.
So Jeremy Bondet, he was close on one of his previous attempts. Got a minute left. That'll be enough for this attempt, but if he gets high up on the boulder, it probably won't be enough for a second attempt.
So Jeremy Bondet versucht's nochmal.
So
Yeah, Jeremy needs this really.
got IFSC routes there to Percy Fisher alongside me. You set these routes. How much do you think about the flow of the routes when you're setting? We touched on it earlier. You try and just watch Jeremy. Should have done enough here. He has. Do you try and create a flow of boulders, if you know what I mean, for the competitors?
different setters have different ways of approaching it. My personal way of approaching it is I just do my thing and see what I've got and then adjust it accordingly, really. It's interesting working with the German setting team we've had here this week. They tend to have very specific ideas and they like to use certain holes, and whereas I'm a bit more untidy, shall we say. But the end result tends to be the same. You know, we have an idea. You know, we have an idea of a style of a boulder. If you want to set a dynamic one with a jump in it, or something that's a bit more balancy, you know, the profile of the blank wall dictates more or less what you can do anyway. But there's a plan before we start. People just have an idea of where they're going to go and what they're going to do.
And how specific do you get if you've got a, I don't know, a really hard press move off the left shoulder? Do you try and avoid that on the next boulder, or?
Depends what you want to do. Sometimes if you're gonna, I can remember setting around somewhere or other in a World Cup where we decided that we had a shouldering move for the right shoulder in I think every problem, just to see if we could just to see how hard we can make people's right shoulders. You know,
but you've got to come up with the challenge, haven't you? You've got to separate the climbers somehow.
Keep it different. Yeah. You know, we do. You know, the conventional way that setters do it is to start the problem is easier and get harder as you go through the round, and then maybe tailing off towards the end as the top there from Mikel, and then tailing off as the climbers get towards the end of the round and they get tireder. But we can mess with that as well. We can start it off super hard, and you know, the best thing about route setting is we all like just playing with different ideas and coming up with new things and trying to keep things fresh. Shauna in action on the slab.
Now then, Shauna, no trouble with women's one. Has the acro yoga paid off?
I think she just has to imagine if she's standing on Leah's head. No offence, Leah.
As I say, make sure you follow Leah Crane and or Shauna Cox on social media, and you'll see what all this is about. They did some quite impressive stuff. Picking each other up at various gymnastic poses.
Eugenia's going well here. Oh, she just drops. She's got time for another go, I'm sure.
It's whether she's got the energy. She looks flattened by that.
Oh, Melissa as well. On number 3. Can she finish it off?
If she could just use a knee bar, she could do it, but it's against French rules, so I think she is going to use the knee bar. She's adopted British rules.
Nicely done. Oh no! Shauna's out there. Very confused. She wondered what had happened there. The judge just explained to her that she'd actually fallen off. I don't think that's happened before.
Interesting to see that top again. It looked okay.
I think a foot popped actually. I'm not totally sure. It looked.
I was too busy concentrating on Melissa Lenev on the top left of the screen. Perhaps we'll see a replay of Shauna there. She doesn't look too fussed. I suppose winning the overall title does ease the pressure somewhat. Albon Levier there on the left.
From France is now in the lead here. 4 tops in 4. Great show this
So I'm
morning.
just looking at the live scores, which you can get on the IFSC scoring app or on the website. Sasha DiGiulian currently leads away ahead of Kinaguchi. And you would imagine 4 tops should guarantee. Here we go. Let's have a look at Shauna.
No, she jumped off the foothold to try and stop the swing, so she jumped her left foot off the hold just to try and to counterbalance herself a little bit, and then I think her hand just slipped down the finishing hold.
Might have heard a beep there through the headphones. That was to signify there's 1 minute left for this round. Plenty of time for Shauna. I was just about to say, yeah, 4 tops, you'd imagine. Well, it will guarantee a place in the final. As things stand, we have people in a provisional final with 2 tops. Fanny Giben, Mihon and Naka. Don't think that will be enough. Miho's still climbing though. Fanny, I don't think will hold on to 5th place. We shall see. There's Shauna.
Nice, Shauna. Very good there. Oh, unlucky there for all Bran, as I like to call him. One of my favourite cereals.
Great cereal.
Oh dear.
Full of fibre.
Absolutely, keeps you regular.
Yeah, good cereal to eat before you go climbing. As long as an hour or two before.
Absolutely.
So there's Chloe Collier coming out, and Miho Nanaka. So Miho, 2 tops, 2 in 2 attempts so far. So flashed both boulders thus far. Here's Jeremy, dogged competitor.
They should have given him 007, shouldn't they, really, instead of 009?
Well, we had this, I'm trying to remember what World Cup it was. I think it was Vale, and he had 007. The puns came thick and fast.
There's 2 Germans in the final so far in the men's, I think.
Yeah, and Kokoro Fuji teetering on the edge of not making this final. He's 5th now. Got 4 tops, but there's 11 attempts. Could come to count against him. Of course, Kokoro climbed quite early on in this semi-final. He qualified in 17th, so he's out quite early. So all he can do is sit backstage and wait. Of course, he's one of the 3 climbers, well, I suppose mathematically 4, but really, realistically, 3 climbers going for this overall title in 2016. It'll all be decided this evening here in Munich.
Jeremy teetering across here. Come on. Confidence is key here. If you're just decisive and go, it's a lot easier.
Miho didn't like the look of jumping off the top of the boulder. They're quite high, these boulders. You just down climb a couple of moves. Let's have a look at Jeremy. I suspect he'll like this move.
Oh!
Sorry, Jeremy. Wants everything clean by the looks of it. Just clean the lot.
Just missed that foothold, but it's very small. I mean, you can see why he could. Oh dear.
Yeah, we've seen that. When will it be ready? I'll come back.
Oh dear.
If he can get himself a Bavarische Wurst and a Weizbier and come back when the guy's finished.
Clementine Kaiser on women's 4. So yeah, she's getting on here. She got to grips with the James Brown manoeuvre. Interesting.
It's quite an interesting way of doing. Quite an interesting method. Let's have a look at Jeremy. He was close last time.
It's the big foothold on the left, Jeremy. Come on. Oh. It's all going wrong for Jeremy Bonder.
I like watching Jeremy. He's got a really nice start, kind of springy, very dynamic. He looks very light when he moves. Really nice to watch.
He is very light.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that.
I think most of these guys are very light.
In der Schweiz war sie dieses Jahr schon im Finale in Meiringen. Da ist sie 6. geworden. Die Französin.
Come on, Clem, let's see what she can do here. You should just get tucked in underneath.
Again,
the powerful way.
Yeah, uses that palm. She's
not having any joy here.
Yeah, just trying to figure out how to get a centre of gravity right underneath the tongue-shaped hold, hey?
Heel hook on the middle volume. Strange heel toe cam against the wall. Should see you right.
And then Jeremy, I didn't think he'd have too much trouble with that last move, but he's not quite got the move of the left foot out.
No, he looked worse than his first time on his second time. He looked not happy at all.
He will need to top this to have any chance of the final. I suspect already he's had too many attempts, but we shall see.
He's got this first bit dialed.
Yeah, you can do that bit, no problem.
So, Jeremy Bondet.
I got that top hop.
Ooh, no, you see, I think he's trying to grab the volume first. He's not going straight to the hold.
He's ignoring that foothold out left that's proved to be the key to that move.
Doesn't like it, obviously. Wrong colour.
Come on, Jeremy.
Oh!
I think he's quite pleased with that.
Hang on. I think he just hurt himself jumping off the wall.
I have to say, I was mounting the cameras earlier. I wouldn't want to jump off the top of a wall, let alone jump upwards.
Yeah, no, I'll climb onto the top and jump off right at the top.
I want to see the jump. Forget the top. Let's have a look. So here he goes.
We're well happy with that.
Look at this for a jump. Hopefully, no, we won't see the replay of that. Here's Melissa and Shauna in the background. Really getting towards the end of this semi-final here in Munich. The temperature's plateaued a bit. We see the crowd there.
There's a bit more of a breeze, a bit of air coming through, which is nice.
So we can see there, you need 4 tops to guarantee a place in the final. I suspect Moritz Hans with Jeremy Bonnet, Tamara Narasaki. It's going to be tight between those 3. Kokoro Fuji also.
Oh, no, I think Jeremy's just edged Moritz Hans out now, isn't he? Because he's I don't think it had updated. He's got 4 tops now. I think Jeremy.
He has, yes. We've just watched it. Yeah, well remembered. Yeah, Jeremy. Moritz Hans out. Kokoro Fuji will be nervously watching what his compatriot can do. Now then, here's Alexei. Alexei Rubtsov. Currently in 3rd overall, 2016. Had a really good season. We saw him competing in Briançon in the lead as well. That was fun to watch. I think he enjoyed it.
So Alexei Rubtsov looks
Come on, Alexei.
One hand is on, 2, and
Just making it look easy, really, Alexei. Like he's just warming up.
Yeah, he won our first Boulder World Cup this year in Meiringen, Alexei. 2 podiums since, 3rd place in Mumbai and Vale. 3rd overall. The woman who is 1st overall and will not be caught is Shauna Coxey. Making very light work. Women's 3, there goes the knee bar. Oh, and even has time to swap it over. Very low-key style from Shauna there. No fuss.
This doesn't look very low-key. This looks like she's really trying. Come on, Mal.
Remember, Melissa Lenev currently 3rd overall. She can catch Miho Nanaka though.
Come on. She needs to. She's got the horn. Very interesting holes. These are like rhinoceros horns.
I thought that's what you meant. Of course. Yeah.
Of course.
So let's see.
Improved technique is just a little match here.
Heading for the top, Melissa, possibly?
Ooh, possibly heading for the mats. She needs to do something. Ooh. Deploy the wide bridge.
Worked a treat there for Melissa.
It's funny, I didn't try it that way because I think my hips would have broken.
Yeah, I think everything would explode if most people tried that.
Fantastic effort there from Melissa Lenev.
Obviously keeping up with that aggro. Is it acro? Aggro.
Acro. Makes me aggro, but I think it's acro.
So there we go. Kokoro Fuji, who's competing to win the overall title today, is in real danger here because he used up 11 attempts for his 4 tops. And Tomoe Narasaki and Alexei Rubtsov still to attempt men's 4. So things are about to get very tight. Kokoro, I'm sure, will be nervously watching somewhere backstage. See there, a few climbers who you might have expected to be a bit higher up. Dimitri, Jakob Schubert, Misha Pikolrat, Martin Stranik, even Baptiste Omets. He came out like a bull in a china shop, but he's not going to be in the final today. Have a look at the women's. There's Melissa Lenev, clean sweep of tops. 5 attempts, so she leads the way ahead of Sasha Giho. And Akia Noguchi, Miho Nanaka and Shauna Coxey already done enough for a place in the final. Yulia Kruder, I don't think can be caught in 6th place, so having been absolutely over the moon to be in the semi-final, she'll be exploding with happiness. She'll make the final.
Yeah, I think regardless of what the last 2 climbers do now, it's going to be a done deal for the women.
Yeah, so top 3 in this year's competition. They'll be in the final today. That shootout for 2nd and 3rd place overall is going to be pretty spicy.
So we see a very, very
Crowd just waiting here, of course. There is timed rounds. So if all the climbers finish early, there's just a bit of a pause and already over. There's Tomoa Narasaki, so he can knock out Kora Fuji from the final. Of course, the scoring in the overall standings of the Boulder World Cup this year quite complicated because we have 7 Boulder World Cups, but only the score from their best 6 results will count. So it's not just a case of saying who will be awarded the points today, it's about thinking what their worst score of the season is and what taking that away will do to their overall score. So it's, as I say, a bit more complicated just adding up the scores this year. We won't do the maths now.
Is Miho?
So
Yeah, short work of that move.
Yeah, no trouble on there. We've seen some of the ladies really struggle with that, but no trouble for Miho.
Ja, die Wertung wurde ein bisschen angepasst. Ich glaube, die Quali-Wertung zählt rein bei gleichem Ergebnis. Deswegen ist der David jetzt noch weiter vorne.
Very calm.
This is a bit of a tricky section. You need to get a good grip on that thing. Up for the witch's hat.
Come on, Miho, just steadying herself.
Yeah, put your heel on.
You can see she's working hard here, Miho, which is effective.
There's the toe hook. Nicely done.
That was by far the smoothest descent we've seen of that boulder. It looked like only that middle section where she really looked the slightest bit troubled.
Pretty much textbook, that's how you do it.
As we see Tomoa Narasaki, if that's the top, it's into the final. It is.
Looked pretty straightforward, that.
So Kora Fuji, leader in the overall standings for 2016, he's not going to make the final. He's currently in 7th. He's finished climbing, so he can't improve. Alexei Rubtsov still to come. So it's Jeremy Bonde now who's sitting backstage and hoping that Alexei Rubtsov doesn't knock him out. Alexei, though, we see it there. He's down in 9th, but he's still to attempt men's 4. You see there, Kora Fuji. I'm almost certain, without the math in front of him, I'm almost certain that means he won't win the overall title. Tomoa Narasaki will overtake him regardless of what happens in the final this evening. So Kora came in leading the overall standings. I'm pretty sure he's not going to take the victory. As I say, we've got 7 World Cups, but only 6 counts, so the maths does get quite complicated. See there, the women's final already decided. Miho Nakalumis, Nev, Sasaki-Giho, Kia Noguchi, Shauna Coxey and Yulia Kruder. So the top 4, in fact, from in the overall standings 2016 will be in the final this evening in Munich. 5th place overall in the standings is Monica Recci. She had a terrible day yesterday, just didn't get on, didn't make the semi-finals. So that will be our women's final. Shauna Coxey still to come. I'm sure she'd like a top on women's 4, but she won't do anything daft, won't risk injury or use up a ridiculous amount of energy on it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, she's pretty wily competitor, Shauna. I'm sure that she knows that if she knows she's already in the final, maybe she'll just take it easy. Not if she doesn't make it first try, maybe she'll just take a pass on it. We'll have a look.
Always depends on how. There we go. The German crowd quite big on bringing banners to the event. Moni. Fortunately, we haven't had Moni in today's semi-final.
No, didn't make it through the qualification round, which is a bit of a shock, I think, for the German team.
She's
normally up there.
Yeah, I remember her being 2nd in Mumbai back in May. Another place we'd like to go back to next year. Don't know about anyone else, but I lost 3 kilos in China and then put on 4 in Mumbai.
20 Sekunden sitzen noch, dann dürfen die beiden Besten nach der Qualifikation.
Jungwon Chon earlier on with the extensive strapping. There he is topping out men's 4 as well. That was enough. He made the final. He's in 4th place right now. Alexei Rubtsov could overtake him, but Jungwon will be in the final. Crowd just beginning to thin here.
Last 2 competitors.
Yep, Shauna's out. As we've said, she's already guaranteed to win the overall title for this year. She's already guaranteed a place in this evening's final. I'd imagine she knows that. She may not. But if she does know, I wouldn't have thought she'll burn too much energy on what is a very physical boulder. Never looks very phased by anything, does she?
No, very calm, focused.
She's been put under real pressure a few times this season, had to come out and perform, and always does it. Home run corn. There's a town that many people not from Britain won't have heard of. Just near Liverpool.
Alexei made short work of men's 4.
And before we even got to have a look at him, Alexei was done. Let's have a look. No problem. That left hand for Alexei, that's a joke, no problem. Just wait for an updated score once his top is confirmed. So that puts him in joint 2nd in today's semi-final. Alexei Rubtsov, he knocks out Jeremy Bonnet from the final.
Here comes Shauna. She's got a good grip on the horn. Up for the witch's hat. Making short work of this. Oh, it's easy.
No problem for Shauna, completely unfazed. She'll be in the final. Can she make it 5 wins from 7 this year? What an extraordinary story that would be. So, the crowd will begin to disperse now. Excellent hospitality here in Munich. I suspect there'll be more than a couple of beers drunk before the final.
Yeah, and I'm going to go to work now and set some final problems.
Yes, I've had IFSC. We'll just confirm our final. So, Mikhail Malwem, Tomohiro Narasaki, Alexei Rubtsov, David Fernenberg, Jungwon Chon, and Manuel Cornu will contest the final here in Munich this evening. IFSC route setter Percy Biston, who joined me this afternoon, has just headed off. He's got to get back to work. And we can see there the women's final, Miho Nanaka, Shauna Coxey, Melissa Lenev, Sasa Giho, Akina Gucci and Julia Kruder will be our finalists this evening.
Ganz wichtig, da es hier verschärfte Sicherheitsvorkehrungen gibt über allen Großveranstaltungen im Moment. Kommen Sie rechtzeitig, kommen Sie früh.
So big thank you to IFSC route setter Percy Biston, who joined me earlier, and IFSC technical delegate Graham Alderson. Fantastic semi-final already out of the way here in Munich. We are live at 6:30 p.m. local time with the final. We hope you can join us then.
Be back early because there's an intense searching outside.